Remember adolescence? Those days spent obsessing over your first crush, wearing very questionable outfits, spending hours at the shopping mall, lying to your parents? Teenagers, right? Either you are one, have been one, or are going to be one. But this wasn't always the case. Flashback to the 19th century, and society consisted of either adults or children. Before World War II, there were hardly any instances of teenagers in the popular media. Come to the 21st century and we're obsessed with how to draw teenagers in. Let's take a look back through the decades at the popular teen films that shaped the perception of teenagers today. So the 1950s. The most influential film of the 50s goes to Rebel Without a Cause. Rebel Without a Cause depicts the youth of the 50s as rebellious and misunderstood. The main characters are all outsiders, alienated by the 50s traditional white middle-class America. The film broke the social belief that family life and school were essential to a normal teenage upbringing. It crafted the teenager as everything the American parent thought it shouldn't be. So let's skip the 1960s because not a lot happened there apart from a series of beach flicks. So on to the 1970s. The distinct film to come out of this decade was Robert De Palma's teen slasher film Carrie. First released in 1977, the film came at an interesting time. Hollywood was discovering the profitability of marketing teen films to a female audience. Carrie depicts the emotional turmoil of puberty, female sexual desire, and the cruelty of high school. Let's flash forward 10 years to 1980s. This was a big decade for teen films. The creation of the PG-13+ rating in 1983 encouraged filmmakers to market a greater number of movies specifically to target teenagers. Between 1984 and 1987, cult director John Hughes wrote and directed 6 teen films, including Pretty in Pink, 16 Candles, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and the best of the best, The Breakfast Club. The film centers around one afternoon in detention with 5 very different kids, struggling to define themselves against the stereotypes projected on them by their parents and peer group. And like all of John Hughes' films, it depicts the teen years as a process of coming of age. Instead of being afraid teenagers will never grow up in The Breakfast Club, we're afraid that they will. On to the 90s, the decade of films with the best fashion. From Clueless to Cruel Intentions to the slasher film Scream, and coming on top of the list is 10 Things I Hate About You. The film was praised for its feminist undertone, as it showed a progressive female lead, unwilling to change for a man, and she doesn't care if no one in the school wants to date her.
I guess in this society being male and an asshole makes you worthy of our time.
As one fan on Twitter says about 10 Things I Hate About You, everyone who was that age in 1999 knew what the characters were going through and could completely relate to them, more so than any other movie like it. It wasn't watching a movie, it was watching your life. So with the 19s been and gone, that brings us to the 21st century. So how are teens represented on film today? We consulted with Dr. Olivia Gunterick, a senior lecturer in popular culture here at RMIT. She said today's representations of teens in movies tend to do a lot more with serious issues like suicide or being outcasted, and they tend to tell more complex narratives. The teen film 8th Grade came out in July this year and tells the story of a young girl as she navigates finding herself in middle school. The film depicts how social media and the language of self-care have come to influence the teenagers of today. So from the rebellious outcasted teen in Rebel Without a Cause, to the overt portrayal of pubescent sexuality in Carrie, to the coming-of-age journey in The Breakfast Club, to the kick-ass feminist in 10 Things I Hate About You, and finally to the more serious issues representing teens today. I wonder, what will the teenagers of tomorrow be like on screen?